Hello friends, welcome to targetgs, and in this video we'll see why have the resource-rich African and even South Asian countries remained poor for decades. See, the countries of Africa and South Asian countries have been exploited under colonization by the Western countries. Very important point. And these countries have not been able to utilize their natural resources. In fact, their technological development has not been at par with the developed world, and people have been living under stark poverty, and they face lack of education, they face unemployment, and they have unhealthy living conditions. And the resources of these countries have been taken away by the industrialized countries. All right, all the natural resources of these countries have been taken away by the industrialized countries, mainly in the form of raw materials, and finished products have been supplied to them for decades. All right, I'll repeat. See, the resources of these countries have been taken away by the industrialized nations or countries, mainly in the form of raw materials, and finished products have been supplied to them for decades. That is, exploiting their resources and economic condition. Also, due to the unavailability of technical know-how, they are not being able to utilize the resources which are available to them. So, as a result, these industrialized countries are still taking away their resources without giving their proper reward for the same. And educated and expert people of these countries have not used their skill to develop their own countries. Rather, they have migrated to the Western countries for better facilities, and which in turn help them to continue their exploitation. So these are some of the reasons why resource-rich African and South Asian countries are remained poor for decades. But if you get a question of like why have the resource-rich African and even South Asian countries remained poor for decades, which was actually asked in mains GS paper 2 in the year 2012, then you can mention all these points. Alright, so the first one is civil wars and terrorism. See, the civil wars contribute to poverty, we all know that, and these wars disorient people and leave them destitute. So they also disconnect businesses from their clients. Moreover, roads and communication networks are destroyed, which further cripples the businesses, and industries collapse, people lose their jobs, and investors lose confidence in these affected countries. Another reason is unending corruption in these countries. See, this has also contributed to the plight of Africa today. In fact, senior leaders in government and private sectors have resorted to taking bribes. Therefore, corruption has taken root in most of the African countries. Third one is education and the knowledge gap. See, even today, some African households cannot afford basic education for their children. Although some governments in the region have taken up the matter of basic education provision as a government project, but many areas lack schools. Alright. Also, inadequate skills and knowledge cripples the economy as there are no skilled labor to drive the nation. Another reason what you can mention here is health and poverty. See, we all know that health and poverty are mostly interconnected, and when a continent is not able to create quality health infrastructure and system for its own people, then it is actually risking the economy, where the economy remains stagnated. And poverty is both a cause and a consequences of poor health, and poor living conditions increases the chances of poor health. In fact, HIV, AIDS, cancer and other diseases have also contributed to the increased poverty levels in Africa. And another reason is geographical disadvantage. Alright, geographically disadvantaged. See, a large number of African countries suffer because they are landlocked geographically, and in this case nothing much can be done. So being placed in such a place, that is geographically disadvantaged location, we actually need some innovative ideas to utilize the available resources to advance their lives. Alright, so the next one is unfair trade policies. See, introducing fair trade policies for African countries to trade with nations will grow Africa's economy much faster than the aid. And unfair trade strategies have actually affected the Africa's trade policies. In fact, Africa's growth. And the last one is colonization. Like I mentioned before, the countries of Africa and South Asian countries have been exploited under colonization by the Western countries, and these countries have not been able to utilize their natural resources. So if you get a question something like this, then you better mention all these points in your mains answer. So that is all about this video, and if you like these videos, then please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.